Alchemy and transmutation are not some magical process. It's a formula, it's exact steps that can take you from point A to point B, from suffering to peace, if you're willing to follow them. And there's one final step that's required to be fully immersed in a state of peace and joy. At this point, you've had perspective shifts around difficult experiences. You've seen the role your own emotions have played in them, and you've seen where these emotions originated. The final stage is to fully transmute the difficult situation and the negative emotions into something positive. It's not about taking full responsibility for the situation, because there are, of course, things that happen to us that are beyond our control, especially in childhood. But what you must do at this stage is take full responsibility for your own happiness. That has to matter more than anything else. It can be tempting and seem easier to try to shove away the negative emotions by placing the responsibility and weight of them on someone else, especially when it's clear their actions created difficulty for you. Or we can try to shove the feelings down by finding other ways to give ourselves an emotional boost. But we have to recognize that it won't actually work. We might think we're getting rid of the pain or negativity, but we're really just trapping it inside of us, because it's an artificial form of alchemy. We have to become fully responsible for shifting our emotions. We are the only ones that can truly give ourselves peace and happiness, and we have to refuse to live any other way. When our emotions aren't fully owned and integrated, they have the ability to constantly sway us and pull us down. They have power over us versus us having power over them. When we choose to take control of our happiness, we become more determined and begin to push ourselves to find ways to achieve it. We begin to feel our desired reality is possible and achievable, and what we truly desire to feel is possible. We feel more in control of our lives and more empowered. This is how we manifest what we desire. So now, how do we take full responsibility for our happiness and peace? First, we have to be able to shift our perspective of the situation to a more positive, purpose-driven perspective. And then second, we must be able to release or forgive the pain that another person may have caused us, and to also forgive ourselves. We have to be able to see the good that came from a situation and also accept that ultimately we signed up for this life. We chose this life so we could overcome the struggles, the generational patterns, and the societal structures to help the earth move forward. We have to use what we've learned to fill our lives with purpose and meaning. We have the choice to allow ourselves to feel empowered because of what we now have to contribute to others, to help others. And if we make this choice, we'll be given the right opportunities to use the wisdom or gifts that came from the situation. The catch is that this next step can often produce fear because it requires us to face more of ourselves and where we are not embodying our divine power. It can require vulnerability and facing fears, but ultimately it is the path of growth, and we will never regret being on that path because it will continuously grow our abundance in all of its forms. If there is a particular person involved, we have to be able to release the negative emotions associated with them. Forgiveness is going to come in one of two forms: either a deeper understanding of the person and why they did what they did, or releasing the feeling of this person having some kind of power over you. Often we can't forgive because we feel someone else has some kind of control over our lives, but this is actually coming from a place of disempowerment within us, and that's what needs to be resolved internally. Often it takes choosing to move forward in a guided, empowered way, and then getting to the other side to realize that this person has no power. It was all just an illusion, and then this is when everything can shift. As long as we don't continue to cycle back into disempowered engagements with this person, and we choose to continuously move forward. Disengaging isn't weak. It's engaging in disempowering situations that makes us feel weak. Not knowing how a situation will resolve can keep us cycling, but we have to trust in our intuition and our wisdom to get us to the other side, and we have to believe that something better is possible. We also have to be able to forgive ourselves for what we didn't know and couldn't have known, and see how these difficult situations brought us the opportunity to learn and grow and transform our lives, and then use this to give our lives greater meaning, purpose, and direction. Mistakes aren't blocks, they're the gateway to abundance. A lot of people are afraid of making mistakes out of fear of embarrassment, but that perspective can keep us looping in mistake after mistake after mistake versus actually creating our desired reality. Transmutation and the creation of our desired reality requires our full commitment to finding happiness and peace for ourselves, despite the obstacles.